The world of country music has lost a legend. Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter, has died at the age of 90. Her family says Lynn passed away this morning at her ranch in Tennessee. CBS 2's Danya Backus has more on her life and career. Celebrities and fellow country music stars are reacting to Lynn's death today. Dolly Parton tweeted, "So sorry to hear about my sister, friend Loretta. We've been like sisters all the years we've been in Nashville, and she was a wonderful human being, wonderful talent, had millions of fans, and I'm one of them. I miss her dearly, as we all will. May she rest in peace." Carole King wrote she was an inspiration. Rest in peace, Loretta Lynn. And for more coverage of Loretta Lynn's life and legacy, tributes to her, etc., just head to our website, cbsnewyork.com.
At noon, some breaking news. The family of country music icon Loretta Lynn has confirmed she passed away at the age of 90. According to a statement, Lynn passed away peacefully in her sleep early this morning at her home west of Nashville in Hurricane Mills. We check in with Dan Sheneman, who looks at the singer's amazing life and career.
One of the most beloved and celebrated American singers, Loretta Lynn was country music royalty. Her rags to riches story and string of hits starting in the 1960s earned her legions of fans drawn to the music that was the story of her life.
On your horn. I had to live my songs to write them, and I think it's everyday living. I think everybody probably lives the same way. Well, I was born.
As Lynn's career progressed, so did her success. She would release more than 60 albums over a career that spanned more than 50 years.
Loretta Lynn.
In 1972, she became the first woman named Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year. Her life and music attracted even more attention when her 1976 autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, was made into an Academy Award-winning movie starring Sissy Spacek. It told the story of Lynn's humble beginnings, born and raised in the mining community of Butcher Hollow, Kentucky. She married her husband, Oliver Lynn, when she was just 15. The couple had 6 children, and despite publicized marital problems, they remained married for almost 50 years until his death in 1996. Known for her signature sequin gowns and classic country voice, Lynn recorded and toured well into her 80s.
Try to write what people are living today. You don't want to let your mind go like, I'm too old to do this, and I'm not.
Over the course of her career, she received numerous accolades, including a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But it was her open and heartfelt music, inspired by the life she led, for which Loretta Lynn will be most remembered. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
And that there is a grand gesture for one of the grand masters of country music. Hollywood, Nashville, and the music world tonight honoring the life and legacy of Loretta Lynn. She, of course, blazed trails, broke barriers, all with the voice of an angel.
Yeah, tonight fans remembering Loretta Lynn, who died peacefully in her sleep at the age of 90. The Lot's Suzanne Marquez joins us live now with a look back at the singer's 6-decade career. Suzanne.
Pretty incredible career, too. She was so famous when she was younger and then in her later years. So she had a re-emerging of her celebrity, which is so incredible. Jeff and Susie, Loretta Lynn had 51 top 10 hits, 4 Grammys. 2016's Lay Me Down was the first time Loretta Lynn and Willie Nelson recorded a song together. The country music icons nailing it on their first take. Tell me what is in 2005, Loretta Lynn won Best Country Music Album after joining forces with Jack White of the White Stripes. It was her first Grammy win in 33 years.
She told me, you know what, Jack? 14 of my songs got banned by country radio, and every time they wouldn't play it, it went #1. Well, country radio wouldn't play this record either. Look who's #1 now.
In a career that spanned stations until they became hits.
I had to live my songs to write them, and I think it's everyday living. I think everybody probably lives the same way.
Lynn grew up in extreme poverty in Kentucky. She also paved the way for her younger sister, Crystal Gayle, to become a famous singer. And don't make my brown eyes blue. Stay. By the way, one of her songs, The Pill from 1975, you heard a little snippet, it's still not played on country music radio. Another legend, Dolly Parton, mourned her friend, saying they were like sisters. She called Loretta Lynn a wonderful human being and a talent, and says she will miss her dearly. And Jack White just posted a tribute to her, calling her the greatest female singer of the 20th century. Jeff.
Okay, Suzanne, thank you.
It is our top story here at noon, the music world mourning the death of country music star Loretta Lynn. The Kentucky native and country icon was 90 years old. It was reported to officials she died surrounded by family in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. Loretta Lynn, the Kentucky coal miner's daughter, became a pillar of country music. Her songs reflected her pride in her rural Kentucky background. ABC's Ike Ajachi takes us in a look back at her life.
Born Loretta Webb in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, 1932, the second of 8 children of a coal miner, later turning her life in the poor Appalachian community into a 1970 #1 song, Coal Miner's Daughter, a best-selling autobiography and Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter.
I would write about my life and what was going on around me right at the time.
Her song and book covered her childhood and marriage to Oliver Lynn at only 15. By age 16, she had the first of her 6 children. While her husband was abusive and cheated on her, she called the man nicknamed Dew the love of her life.
If he hit me once, I hit him twice. He knew it too.
But after 50 years of this, why didn't you just divorce him?
I loved him.
Dew bought her first guitar and inspired songs like You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man. They were married for almost 50 years until his death.
And he always said to me, honey, that's a hit.
During her over 6-decade career, Lynn wrote over 160 songs, including some that were considered controversial, like The Pill, about birth control.
Yeah, I'm making up for all those years since I've got the pill.
And Rated X, about the double standard women face.
You can't have a male friend when you're a has-been or a woman, you're rated X.
I sang that a lot of the disc jockeys banned, you know, because they thought it was going to be really bad. So it was a big record for me.
In 2013, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, awarded by President Obama. Lynn stopped touring in 2017 after she suffered a stroke, but she didn't stop releasing new music, recording at a studio at her Tennessee estate, a compound so massive it includes a museum, post office, waterfall, gift shop, and replica of the cabin she grew up in back in Kentucky. Loretta Lynn, the first lady of country music. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
And here in the U.S. tonight, we remember a country music legend, celebrating Loretta Lynn. Lynn's family revealing she died at the age of 90 at her ranch in Tennessee, the daughter of a Kentucky coal miner. It was that song that helped define a career.
I'm about as fashion as I can be, so I hope you like what you see. If you're looking at me, you're looking at country.
Loretta Lynn was a trailblazer.
If your eyes are on me, you're looking at country.
Singing about equality for women and the double standards.
You can't have a male friend when you're a has-been or a woman, you're rated X.
In plain language.
You say you're gonna take it, oh, but I don't think you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
Writing her own songs, speaking her own mind.
A liquor and love, they just don't mix, leave the bottle or me behind. And don't come home but drinking with loving on your mind.
Born in Kentucky, one of 8 children, she said she was born singing.
Me and my little first cousin sang all the time. And when we were little, Daddy would come out on the porch and tell us to shut our big mouth. People all over the holler can hear you, he'd say. And I said, Daddy, who cares? They're all our cousins.
The daughter of a coal miner.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. The work we done was hard. At night we'd sleep 'cause we were taught. I never thought of ever leaving Butcher Holler.
That 1970 song Coal Miner's Daughter becoming the title of her book, then a movie.
Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter.
Actress Sissy Spacek playing Lynn.
Miss Sissy Spacek.
Spacek winning an Oscar. And thank you, Loretta Lynn.
I want to thank Loretta Lynn.
Writing more than 160 songs, more than 60 albums, winning so many Grammys. The nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2013.
I would write about my life and what was going on around me right at the time, and how I was feeling, and how some of the other girls are feeling out there. So I tried to write for us all, you know.
Tonight, Loretta Lynn, in her own words, on what led to her success.
Treat everybody like you'd like to be treated. And that way you won't have to stop and look back and say, hey, you know, the reason I'm not doing so good, I didn't do people right. And I think if you feel this way and never hurt anybody, I think you'll get along all right.
Except the memories of a coal miner's daughter. Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar.
One last thing before we go tonight, remembering the coal miner's daughter. Country music star Loretta Lynn died today at the age of 90 at her home in Tennessee. The New York Times writes her powerful voice, playful lyrics, and topical songs were a model for generations of country singers and songwriters. So was her life story. Born in 1932, Loretta Webb was one of 8 children and never planned to leave the small town of Butcher Holler, Kentucky. When she was just 15 years old, she married her husband, Oliver Lynn, and they had 6 children. And after moving from Kentucky to Washington, it was her husband who encouraged her to pursue a singing career. Audiences were immediately drawn to her heartfelt songs about her life and her marriage. She would end up releasing more than 60 albums over a career that spanned nearly 5 decades. Her rags to riches story even inspired a 1980 Academy Award-winning movie starring Sissy Spacek and Tommy Lee Jones. Over the course of her career, Loretta Lynn received a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Our colleague Jenna Bush Hager sat down with Lynn a few years ago for the Today Show.
My daddy was a coal miner, and he worked hard.
Well, what do you think he would think of you, of your life, this extraordinary life?
I'd give anything in the world if he would have been here when I recorded Coal Miner's Daughter. And but I think he hears me, and one day I will sing it to him. Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar.
Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter who became the queen of country music, gone at the age of 90.
Country music icon Loretta Lynn died peacefully today at her Tennessee home at the age of 90.
It was sad to know the news, although I've known she's been in failing health for a while. But it's a sad day for country music.
Loretta Lynn launched her career in the 60s. Music critics and admirers say she paved the way for women in country music to be more honest and genuine in their songwriting.
10 News reporter Krissa Lucas spoke to those who knew her to get a sense of her life and her legacy. Krissa.
Yes, Robin and John, Loretta Lynn was a plain-spoken singer whose music reflected what was actually happening in her life. She sang about marriage, divorce, even infidelity.
Loretta Lynn, a legend who rose from poverty to stardom.
Loretta Lynn was a true giant.
Lynn's father was a Kentucky coal miner. She got married when she was just 14. When she decided to begin her music career in the early 60s, she already had 4 children.
She was always so sweet and gracious is what I remember about her.
Her fierce songwriting and singing soon skyrocketed her to the top of country music. She wasn't afraid to sing about real life, like marital problems and alcohol abuse.
First real female empowerment song is Don't Come Home a-Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind.
Lynn was a trailblazer for other women performers. She broke the glass ceiling. She was the first woman to win the Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year award in 1972.
She loved to work. She loved her fans. She always delivered a wonderful show.
Tim Maccabee met Lynn when he hired her for concerts. The last time he saw her,
A hug, a kiss on the cheek, I love you, Loretta. And I would hear, I love you too, baby.
One of Lynn's most memorable songs is Coal Miner's Daughter. Some of her songs spoke about romantic rivals and birth control pills and settling scores with female rivals. John, Robin, back to you.
Wow, she has lived quite a life. Thank you very much, Krista, for that look back. Her death has sparked lots of reaction.
Loretta Lynn was the original coal miner's daughter, a title taken from her hit song. The legendary country singer died today at the age of 90, leaving a legacy of more than 6 decades of boundary-breaking music. In 2019, several generations of Nashville stars came out for a concert celebrating Lynn's birthday. Jeffrey Brown was there, and he spoke with her about her life and career, beginning with her humble roots in a tiny coal mining community in Kentucky. Here's an excerpt. It's part of our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
This is my first birthday party I ever had.
Oh, really?
And when I was a little girl, Mom would say, well, today you're 5 years old. Next time, today you're 6. And I never had a birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you deserve it, I guess.
Well, I'm loving it.
What was the ambition back then?
You know, you never dared dream big because where have you been to dream? I mean, how could you dream when you've never seen nothing or never been nowhere? Never been to town, I'd never been to town, so you didn't dare dream.
But now I'm a honky-tonk girl.
Her first hit, I'm a Honky-Tonk Girl, came in 1960 and set her on a trailblazing path. First woman in country music to write a #1 hit song, You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man.
Loretta Lynn.
First to be named Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year, and to have more than 50 top 10 country hits. What's the key to writing a good song? What does it have to have?
It's got to have the person.
The person meaning you?
It's got to have the heart and soul of a person that's writing it.
That sounds simple, but it can't be simple to capture the real person.
It's not simple because it's hard on the writer. I used to lock myself up to, shut myself in a room before I would get through with a song. I wouldn't come out till I got it wrote.
And when did you know that you had it, that it was done?
Well, I would know when I had it done. If you don't know when you have it done, you shouldn't be writing.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't think you can.
She was a strong voice for women in a conservative industry. We all know you as a great artist, but I understand you've always been a great businesswoman as well. Was that
pretty good?
You took care of things, and yeah,
yes, I did.
Because you had to? Did you have to learn how to do that?
If you're hungry, yeah. You learn how to make a living if you're hungry.
So what's been the key to surviving and thriving for so long in this business?
You have to be smart. Hard work and smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. If you got a little talent, you can go a long way if you're smart. And
what an icon, Loretta Lynn. Thank you, Jeffrey Brown.
In the last hour or so, one of the most legendary names in the history of country music has died.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter. I want to tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife. If you're looking at me, you're looking at country.
Loretta Lynn was known as the Queen of Country, born into poverty at the Kentucky coal mines, dominating the charts starting in the 1960s and continuing all the way through the 1990s. In a statement, her family said she died today at her home in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. In May of 2017, she suffered a stroke that ended her touring career. But throughout her career, she recorded 16 #1 hit songs, got 8 CMA awards, scored 3 Grammy Awards, writing most of the songs herself, something that was unusual back in the day. Even more unusual, writing them from a female perspective, dealing with often controversial subjects like alcoholism, divorce, infidelity, birth control, and women's liberation. Some of her biggest hits came from her partnership with country stars Conway Twitty, Dolly Parton, and Tammy Wynette. In 1980, Sissy Spacek won an Academy Award for portraying Loretta Lynn in the biopic Coal Miner's Daughter. Lynn was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1988. She was a Kennedy Center honoree in 2003. She received a Lifetime Achievement Award recognition from the Recording Academy in 2010. She is survived by 4 daughters, a son, many grandchildren, and also her younger sister, singer Crystal Gale. Loretta Lynn was 90 years old.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
And we are starting with breaking news. Legendary country music star Loretta Lynn has died. She was 90 years old. According to the Associated Press, she died at her home in Hurricane Mills this morning. We have team coverage this morning as the community mourns the loss of the Kentucky coal miner's daughter. Welcome to News 2 at 11. I'm Nicole Smith. Let's begin with News 2's Nikki McGee, who was live at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville with a look at the late singer's legacy.
Yeah, Nicole, I'm out here outside the Country Music Hall of Fame where they've already put out a guest book and flowers are on the way. Fans have already started signing that. Obviously, a very emotional day for them. After that's all signed, that will be donated to her family. Now, she was inducted here at the Country Music Hall of Fame back in 1988. She was known as a strong-willed female from eastern Kentucky, as we all know, with the coal miner's daughter. Historians here say she was more of a realist than a feminist, writing about working-class women coming up through the ages. She's been seen as a pioneer for female musicians and even influencing folks like Taylor Swift and Miranda Lambert to this day. You'll see her in the same display here at the Country Music Hall of Fame as Dolly Parton and Tanya Tucker. Now later this afternoon at 1 p.m. they will be reading Loretta Lynn's bio and a ceremony they'll be having for her. Reporting live outside the Country Music Hall of Fame, Nikki McGee, News 2.
All right, Nikki, thank you so much. Let's now turn to News 2's Tori Gessner. She joined us live from Tootsie's in downtown Nashville, where the late country queen got her start. Tori.
Yeah, Nicole, today is Tootsie the Bar's 62nd birthday, but now today is also a very sad day in history as the people outside are learning of Loretta Lynn's death. Now, Tootsie the Bar was a very special place for Lynn. After performing at the Ryman, which used to be the home of the Grand Ole Opry, she and many others would walk to Tootsie's afterwards through what's called the Ryman Alley. Tootsie's was even featured in the movie about Lynn's life, A Coal Miner's Daughter. Many tourists who visit Broadway are country music fans and fans of Lynn. They were shocked and saddened to hear about her death.
First and foremost, I just found out, and just Loretta Lynn is just a staple. She started, I think Carrie Underwood's a fan. It's upsetting, but I rest in peace. She was a wonderful woman, and kudos to her and her family.
Now we're told Tootsie's the Bar will reconfigure its birthday celebration tonight in some way to honor Lynn's life and her legacy. Live on Broadway, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Thank you, Tori. Reactions are pouring in as the country music community and state of Tennessee mourns the loss of an icon. The Country Music Association releasing a statement reading in part, "It is not enough to say today that country music has lost Loretta Lynn, but rather the world has lost a true music legend." Senator Marsha Blackburn tweeting, "We've lost a true Tennessee treasure today. Loretta Lynn was a force to be reckoned with and her pioneer for women in country music." And the family of Charlie Daniels wrote in part, "When Dad passed, she said country would never be the same without Dad. It will definitely not be the same without the coal miner's daughter." For more reactions to Loretta Lynn's passing and photos remembering her life and legacy, just go to WKRN.com. Nicole.
Thank you, Madison. Loretta Lynn was popular with fans and a trailblazer inside the industry. She received nearly 40 CMA Award nominations during her career. The nominations span a 45-year period, with the first coming in 1967 and the latest in 2011 for her musical event with Miranda Lambert and Sheryl Crow. Loretta Lynn won 8 CMA Awards, and she won Vocal Duo with Conway Twitty 4 times. She was named Female Vocalist of the Year 3 times and became the first woman to win Entertainer of the Year in 1972. Here's a look at some of her acceptance speech.
I'd like to say that I've won a lot of awards, and this is one that I have been nominated for, but I never did get. And this, I think, is the only one that I haven't gotten. The only thing, I'm real happy, but the only thing that I'm kind of sad about is my husband is gone hunting. He couldn't make it back in to share my happiness with me. Thank you.
Such a loss for Tennessee and the country music world. Our team coverage of Loretta Lynn's death continues at WKRN.com, where we'll find pictures and stories about her legendary life. You can also expect more stories during our later newscast.
We are celebrating the life of Loretta Lynn, the trailblazer and coal miner's daughter, born in poverty but rose to country music royalty, dying at the age of 90. And she leaves behind a legacy as unique as her voice. 2020 contributing anchor, Deborah Roberts, is here with more. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, Robin. I know you've met her before. What a remarkable life and legacy. Loretta Lynn's voice was her ticket out of poverty and into a life of unfathomable success. Success she never would have imagined growing up as that coal miner's daughter. Well, she became a queen of country music, breaking barriers, changing the story and the face of country music forever, while throwing open the doors for all those women who would follow her. With her powerful voice and singular songwriting style, Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter from Butcher Holler, Kentucky, sang her way out of poverty, becoming one of the biggest country music stars of all time. Married at 15, with 4 children by the time she turned 21, Lynn was a trailblazer, giving voice to working-class women through her songwriting, highlighting then taboo subjects, from infidelity in hits like Fist City,
If you don't want to go to Fist City, you're gonna detour around my town.
to You Ain't Woman Enough,
Although you ain't woman enough to take my man.
to The Pill, about women's reproductive rights.
Yeah, I'm making up for all those years since I've got the pill.
And a lot of people did think I was writing things that I shouldn't write, you know, and that some of my records got banned. When I come out with a song, The Pill.
Her best-selling autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, inspiring the 1980 film, which earned an Oscar for its star, Sissy Spacek.
I'm telling you now. You boys stop fighting and listen to me sing.
Overnight, heartfelt tributes pouring in. Reba McEntire saying, I sure appreciate her paving the rough and rocky road for all us girl singers. Carrie Underwood sharing, she's irreplaceable. She will be incredibly missed, but her legacy lives on in those of us whom she has influenced. And Martina McBride adding, we all loved her so much, there will never be another like her. With more than 45 million albums sold worldwide, Lynn's 60-year career brought a trove of accolades and awards, including 4 Grammys, 8 CMAs, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Her life and music an inspiration for so many country singers and songwriters. In 2009, Lynn sharing with Robin Roberts some advice for the next generation, which includes her granddaughter.
She's got to work hard. Ain't nobody gonna give it to her. I don't care whose daughter she is or whose granddaughter she is. You've got to get out there and work at it. You got to write your songs. You got to write about everyday life, everyday living.
Yeah, you ain't woman enough to take my man.
We're all in here tapping our shoes. What a woman. Loretta Lynn was still touring up until 5 years ago when she had a stroke. This morning, that other queen of country music, Dolly Parton, praising the woman she saw not as a rival, but as family, saying, "We've been like sisters all these years. We've been in Nashville. She was a wonderful human being, wonderful talent, and had millions of fans. And I'm one of them." What an impact she had, guys.
Truly, truly was. And I have to tell you, did you see TJ over here listening to her lyrics?
The lyrics.
He kept saying, did she just say that? Yes, that's what made her Loretta Lynn. Her lyrics.
At that time, though, right? Now it's not a big deal to hear, but man, that was something.
Beautiful woman.
All right, we got some breaking news just into the CBS newsroom. Really sad news. Hall of Fame, Country Music Hall of Fame member Loretta Lynn, a beloved country music artist, has passed away at the age of 90 years old. She led an incredible life, but was hugely, hugely, hugely influential in the world of music, specifically country music. And she represented an ideal of country music that when she first sort of debuted in the early 1970s or late 1960s, we really hadn't seen before. You know, Coal Miner's Daughter, that hard scrabble life that she wrote about and sang about in her music was something that captured the imagination of country music fans all across this country. She was beloved.
I think, you know, when you talk about Coal Miner's Daughter, the sort of themes in that song are universally appealing. And it's one of, when I think of my memory, and I'm obviously, you know, don't know everything about country music, but it's one of the handful of country music songs that crossed over.
Yes.
They were like, it's a monster hit. If you didn't listen to country music, you knew I was, you know, born a coal miner's daughter. You knew who Loretta Lynn was. And that voice, her voice is classic country voice,
very distinctive.
right?
Absolutely distinctive. And of course, it was turned into a movie, an award-winning movie. And there's a statement here that we received that says, it is not enough to say that country music has lost Loretta Lynn, but rather the world has lost a true music legend. Loretta was a woman whose contributions and impact inspired countless artists and transformed the country genre into a universal art form. That's from the Country Music Association. And they go on to say that her music came to define a generation and that the music that she wrote about was socially and culturally impactful. She'll be missed.
Grand Ole Opry members shared their fondest memories of Loretta Lynn last night through their musical tributes. There was not a dry eye in the house at the Grand Ole Opry. WSMV's Danielle Jackson was there.
Dear Miss Loretta. An outpouring of musical tributes for country music icon Loretta Lynn inside of the Grand Ole Opry Tuesday night. Lynn passed away peacefully in her sleep Tuesday morning at her home in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee.
Love is where you find it. So many great songs. At least we'll always have those. We won't have Loretta, but we'll always have those songs.
We were poor, but we had love. The coal miner's daughter pulled herself up from humble roots in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky to become the queen of country music.
'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
Her tough persona matched with her songwriting abilities proved that she was woman enough for whatever life handed her.
For somebody that puts together words for a living, it's hard to describe Loretta Lynn with words because she was one of a kind.
Country music legend and longtime friend Bill Anderson was a part of the very first tour with her overseas.
In 1970 to England, Scotland, Ireland, Holland, Norway, and Sweden. Now you take a little country girl from Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, and put her in Royal Albert Hall in London. That was... what a great experience that was.
He recalls her tenacious spirit, lighting up rooms and touching many hearts.
She would stand up to anybody. Tenacity, I think, is a great word, because what she had to overcome just growing up and in her normal life. And then she had to kind of fight her way into the music business in the beginning.
Lynn connected with people through her autobiographical lyrics and movie, making an impact for women during a time that wasn't the easiest.
She was groundbreaking in the way that she wrote songs and presented herself and maintained being a wife and a mother in the midst of all of it and just socking it to them. She did it. She broke down every barrier.
Lynn, an icon to many, but was like family for country music artist Marty Stewart. They've done several duets together over the years.
But Loretta's a part of everybody's family. Not many people in the world could go to any door at anybody's home, and knock and be welcomed in and treated with love. And I think Loretta was just globally loved, and she earned that. She just earned a place in all of our hearts.
And a close friend to so many country music artists, especially to her longtime singing duet partner, Conway Twitty.
It was a happy day in heaven for Conway Twitty. I'm sure he saw Loretta coming in, and he said, "Hello, darling. It's been a long time."
Oh, wow, that is powerful. That's Danielle Jackson reporting that beautiful story. Loretta Lynn's last Opry performance was January 21st. This was in 2017, pre-COVID. All week, they will honor her there at the Opry. Saturday's show will be dedicated to her. There have been no plans announced yet for a memorial for Loretta Lynn. The family says they'll announce it soon, but right now they're grieving, and when we learn more, we'll certainly share it with you. We'll also post it on our website and in the free WSMV4 app. Got some breaking news.
It's lying, cheating, woman chasing, honky-tonkin', whiskey drinking you.
Beloved and celebrated for decades, Loretta Lynn was called the Queen of Country.
Yes, I wish that I could fly away.
She was known for a repertoire of songs that told the story of her life, depicted most famously in this song about growing up poor in the Appalachian Mountains.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
Her best-selling memoir, Coal Miner's Daughter, became a hit movie. Sissy Spacek won an Oscar for depicting Lynn's spirit and talent.
When you think of her, you think of her ability to just speak to the experiences of often underrepresented voices, young moms, poor women with so much tenacity, so much color, so much vibrance.
Lynn wrote songs about love and sex with an everyday honesty.
Don't come home a drinker with loving on your mind.
And birth control.
Yeah, make it up for all those years since I've got the pill.
She's paved the path for so many women in country music. And I think that's so important as artists and writers to take that, share our own truths and share our own stories so we can connect and relate to people.
Over her 5-decade career, Lynn became the first woman named Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I had to live my songs to write them, and I think it's everyday living.
She released more than 60 albums and collaborated with musicians like Jack White and Katie Lang. In reaction to her death, Katie Lang tweeted, "Joyous, fierce, one of a kind. I loved meeting and working with Loretta Lynn."
Music has lost a legend. Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter, has died at the age of 90.
CBS 2's Danya Backus has more on the life and career of Loretta Lynn. Loss of a legend.
Yeah,
there.
what a career.
I was born a coal miner's daughter.
Graves paying tribute to Loretta Lynn at the 2023 Grammys.
We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of.
Loretta's family approved. And why wouldn't they? The two women have history together. Actually, they have a somewhat scandalous history together, and in just a second, I'll explain. Plus, I'm going to let you in on a secret about the moment. It's hiding in plain sight.
Mama rocked the babies at night and read the Bible by the coal oil light.
It's Addison Hager and Casey was chosen to tribute Loretta Lynn during the In Memoriam at the 2023 Grammy Awards on Sunday. She turned the anthemic Coal Miner's Daughter into a bittersweet remembrance.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter.
Thumbs up this video if you thought Casey did country music proud, and consider tapping subscribe for original country music news and analysis. That's what we do here. So why Casey Musgraves? Sure, she's a star that crossed genres and a former Grammy winner with broad appeal. All that matters, but Casey is also a contemporary artist who's been there to tribute Loretta Lynn again and again. Here she's presenting Loretta with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the American Music Awards. In 2017, she was there to open a Loretta Lynn exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. In 2019, she performed at the All-Star Birthday Bash for Loretta in Nashville. And then the most memorable performance. At the 2014 CMAs, Casey and Loretta performed You're Looking at Country. I mentioned at the top that Loretta's family approved of Casey paying tribute to her, and now you understand why. Their appreciation goes deeper than just a tweet, however. You see that guitar Casey's playing? That's Loretta Lynn's guitar. You can see it on her Full Circle album here. Oh, y'all, I just got goosebumps. I'm Addison Hager for Taste of Country. Make sure to head to our YouTube channel to check out more Grammy Award content.
To my friends, thank you for giving me such a great life. I have never taken it or you for granted. Because of you, my kids didn't have to grow up poor the way I did. As a mother, I didn't have to go to bed heartbroken. What you gave to me allowed me to give them a better life. I hope you know what a gift that is. I have shared my story so many times, through my songs, through my books, through my movie. I have tried to give back to you as much as I could, even though I know I can't. I could never repay you for the life and the love that you have given to me. Thank you. I've traveled all over the world, but I've never got to see much. That is, except for you, my fans, my friends. I want you to know that I saw and I remember every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. Your friend, Loretta Lynn.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration, and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then to thee. How great thou art. How great, come on,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host for this evening, Jenna Bush Hager.
Wow. Wow, wow. Winona, the Gaithers, and Larry Strickland, how great y'all are. What a beautiful way to start this incredible evening. I know, like most of y'all, this is an incredible honor to be here tonight to celebrate the life, music, and legacy of the Queen of Country Music, Miss Loretta Lynn. Y'all, Loretta was so loved. Thousands started lining up in the rain to be here at 4 a.m. inside the Opry. They're all here tonight. And of course, there are so many of y'all watching from home. Like all of y'all, I absolutely adored her. Through 3 generations and for over 30 years, she was a precious family friend. She once did her best to help me learn how to play the guitar. During this session, she said, "Now, Jenna, come on, use your middle finger." I said, "Well, Loretta, you know I've used that once or twice before." She said, "Honey, that's why I'm telling you to use it. I know it's strength." She was hilarious and gutsy. She's the only person I know who got away with calling my dad Little George. Well, at least to his face. Born in Holler, Kentucky in 1932, raised in the poverty of Appalachia, this tiny woman with a huge, one-of-a-kind voice helped define modern country music. She was a culture-shifting icon who wore sparkly ball gowns and wrote and sang some of the most real, raw, timeless songs in country music history. Little girls, y'all can clap. Little girls who became women, many of whom are here in this room tonight, watched and wanted to be just like her. All that grace and talent and willingness to speak the truth. Loretta became a member of the Grand Ole Opry in 1962, saying, "The greatest moment of my life was when they inducted me into the Grand Ole Opry." Well, tonight, even after she is gone, she feels it once again. What a privilege for all of us that tonight some of her dearest friends, the biggest names in country music, and her beloved family have come here together to share stories and share her music. Loretta once told me that her greatest regret was that her beloved daddy didn't get to hear her sing Coal Miner's Daughter, but her faith taught her that one day she would sing it to him. She would sing it with him. And so tonight, with Loretta's family, we celebrate the original Coal Miner's Daughter, Miss Loretta Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Keith Urban.
Thank you, Jenna. Good evening, everybody. It's an honor to be here tonight, and I'm very, very grateful that I get a chance to show my respects to Miss Loretta. I was her date for the 2005 CMT Awards, and that was one of the most memorable evenings that I would ever get with somebody like Miss Loretta. That was in 2005. In 2018, I got this call that I want to share with you.
Hey, Keith, this is Loretta, and I'm having a birthday, and I want to see your butt there.
So you bet I was there. I came running then, I came running tonight. I will always come running for Miss Loretta. Well, I like my loving down country style. This little girl will walk a country mile. Sure, we're a good old slow-talking country boy. I said a country boy. I'm about as old-fashioned as I can be, and I hope you're liking what you see. 'Cause if you're looking at me, you're looking at country. You don't see no city when you look at me, 'cause country is all I am. I love running barefooted through the old cornfields, and I love that country ham. Yes, I do. Well, you say I was made just to fit your plans, but does a barnyard shovel fit your hand? 'Cause if you're looking at me, you're looking at country. Hey. Well, now this here country is a little green, but there's a lot of country that you ain't seen. I'll show you around if you show me a wedding band. I said a wedding band. When it comes to love, well, I know about that. Country folks sure know where it's at. 'Cause if you're looking at me, sing it to me. Ah! Woo! Ooh, you don't see no city when you look at me, 'cause country's all I am. I love running barefooted through the old cornfields, and I love that country. Well, you say I was made just to fit your plans, but does a barnyard shovel fit your hand? 'Cause if your eyes are on me, you're looking at country. Up there on that screen, yeah, you're looking at country. God bless you, Loretta. Thank you.
Loretta Lynn's voice rose from the poverty-stricken hills of Kentucky out of the home of her loving parents.
My mama told me she thought that I was born singing.
One of my fondest memories was sitting on my daddy's knee, listening to the stories that he told.
Daddy brought home a Philco radio, and I would curl up in front of that radio every Saturday night. And when Ernest Tubb would sing, I'd cry.
This year's the family rose.
Sparks flew when teenage Loretta met Oliver Doolittle Lynn, and the two married a month later. Feeding herself and her 4 children was still a struggle, even after Doo moved the family to Washington for a better future. But Doo had an idea.
Good, said Loretta. I listen to the girl singers in the car all the time. You're a better singer than they are. I'm going to put you out there to work. He got this $17 guitar. I learned myself how to play it. Then he come in one night and he said, well, you're about ready now. I'm going to get you a job.
And now I'm a honky-tonk girl.
American music was changed forever.
Loretta Lynn, I mean, where the hell do you even begin?
Well, it began for me being a 9-year-old down in Texas, and some of the first songs I ever learned were Fist City and You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man, which is funny coming from a 9-year-old. But I have so many treasured memories of getting to be around her, you know, opening for her back in the day, bringing a serious, sparkly country moment to the CMAs. But my favorite moments were just quietly getting to sit and talk with her, honestly, about ghosts and spirits and fried chicken and so many very fun, real things. Loretta was such a brave woman and a creative. And I truly believe that I would not be where I am if Loretta hadn't made it easier for me and paved the way. I am so grateful for just simply getting to exist in the same time that Loretta did. And I'm so fortunate that we have this legacy that she left behind, and it's going to last forever. But I'm sending all my love. I wish I could be there.
Please welcome Barbara Mandrell.
I'm here with you tonight at the Grand Ole Opry House, and people are watching from all over the world for one reason. We all love Loretta Lynn. Loretta stole my heart. We worked on many TV shows together, and she was always so very kind and sweet to me. And when I received her autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, I started reading that, and I was just absolutely captured by the extraordinary life that she led. I watched the movie Coal Miner's Daughter 11 times. Most of those times I was watching it in my stateroom on my tour bus after leaving my concert at night. A couple of places in that movie made me cry every time I saw them. There was only one Loretta, even though she was a mega star and an iconic talent. She was also kind and generous and loving. I admire, adore, and love Loretta Lynn with my whole heart, as I know you do too. My friends, here's the wonderful Tanya Tucker.
Set out to see the world. Remember when those city lights shine down? Well, that big old moon shines on your Kentucky girl. I swear I love you by the moon above you. How bright is it shining in your world? Some morning when you wake up all alone, well, just come on home to your blue Kentucky girl. I'm gonna miss you, Reddy.
I was so fortunate to have become such good friends with Miss Loretta, and sadly what was to be the last chapter of her life. So many great stories, from her coming out to my farm and sitting around the studio writing songs, to even showing up at my saloon parties on property and being so gracious with her time with everyone and taking pictures. And I'll always cherish the time I had with her and just admire her so much as a lady, as a songwriter, as a mother and grandmother, and as somebody who was such a dear friend to me. I'll sign off by saying, Loretta, I love you, rest in peace. Or let me say it like you always said to me, and probably so many people here. I love you, honey. God bless you.
Please welcome Faith Hill and Tim McGraw.
Here, woo, here we are. My friendship with Loretta Lynn began about 200 feet behind this stage in the old Opry House Studio C. That's where Loretta filmed her nightly talk show, Loretta Lynn and Friends, and where this young singer with big dreams got to sit, talk, laugh, and sing with the force of nature and national treasure that is Loretta Lynn. Now, almost 30 years later, it is our honor and privilege to be here as close to where our dear friendship began, and to celebrate this extraordinary woman and her remarkable life.
You know, when I think of Loretta, I think growing up in Stark, Louisiana in the 70s and 80s, and her voice and her music are part of the soundtrack of my life. I grew up hearing her songs on the radio, sung by every female singer in every local cover band, and in between innings at Little League games, on the stereo at my house. Just everywhere I turned, I heard Loretta Lynn.
And then in the 60s and the 70s, Loretta wrote and sang songs that shocked a whole lot of people. You know, sometimes that's just what truth does, right? You got to tell it, though.
Loretta made it clear she was writing songs about women, for women.
Time and time again. Yes. Time and time again, women came up to her and said with real appreciation, "You're singing my life, about my life." They thanked her for giving them a voice, giving their lives a place in country music. Loretta was unabashedly honest about hardships and joys of being a wife, a mother, a woman, living life, loving, lying, cheating, having babies, not having babies. She sang about it all. We women, you know, women kind of know about that sort of thing. So, in case anybody wants to know the truth about things, she was fierce and she was proud of who she was, where she came from, and how she lived her life.
She inspired women to simply be who they were, feel what they felt, stand up for themselves, and know they were not alone. Her trailblazing directly impacted women's lives, my wife's life, my daughter's lives.
And she didn't just push boundaries for women in country music. She shredded them, okay? Yeah, she did. She gave us this bold new space to find our own way, to dream and to soar in the music we make and careers and our lives that we have. She was always good, kind, and supportive of all of us. Every single person in this room has a story I'm sure they could share. And she was so dang wise and funny. No, we all good, we good. I am honored to have been in your presence, Loretta. I am grateful to have so many memories with you. I am proud to be a woman in country music. I am proud to be a mom. I am proud to have had the privilege, glory, to have had the privilege of following, for so many of us, of following you down the musical path you blazed for all of us.
I just want to say thank you, Loretta. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Darius Rucker.
You've been making a brag around town that you've been loving my man. But the man I love, when he picks up trash, he puts it in a garbage can. And that's what you look like to me. And what I see is pity. You better close your face and get out of my way if you don't want to go to Fifth City. If you don't want to go to Fifth City, you better detour around my town. 'Cause I'll grab you by the hair of the head and lift you off the ground. I ain't saying my man's a saint 'cause he ain't, 'cause he don't cat around with a kitty. You better tell your gal, lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City. Come on, tell me what you told my friends if you think you're brave enough. And I'll show you what a real woman is, since you think you're hot stuff. You bite off more than you can chew if you get too cute or witty. You better move your feet if you don't want to eat a meal that's called Fifth City. If you don't want to go to Fifth City, you better detour around my town. 'Cause I'll grab you by the hair of the head and lift you off the ground. I ain't saying my man's a saint 'cause he ain't, and he don't cat around with a kitty. Move your head and lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City. You better move your hand and lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City.
I always wrote about life. If you write life, somebody's gonna like it.
As a songwriter, Loretta drew most of her inspiration from her relationship with her husband.
Every time I get mad at him over something, well, I could write a hit song. That's the way that I got him back, was write about it and sing to him.
I'm here to tell you, gotta lay off my man. Go to Fifth City.
I recorded songs that the other girls wouldn't sing.
I think I got 8 band, but they all went number 1.
You set this chicken in your last town, 'cause now I've got the pill.
I felt like I was singing about people that's sitting out there listening.
Writing about her daily struggles made Loretta's work groundbreaking and gave generations of women permission to speak their truth.
I'm so grateful to Loretta Lynn for being an example for all songwriters everywhere, but most specifically female songwriters getting to say things that might make people uncomfortable. She was so ahead of her time, and the way that she exercised brutal, truthful, fearless honesty every time she sat down to write a song is something that I think changed music forever and paved the way for every songwriter that is trying to be truthful and honest today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martina McBride.
As I stood backstage this evening, my mind went to a Saturday night in 1995 when Loretta inducted me into the Grand Ole Opry.
It was the start of our friendship. I know a lot has been said and will be said tonight about her huge and important career. That the women of country music absolutely could not be who we are today if she hadn't gone first. I mean, we may still be here, but maybe not writing our own songs or singing about topical issues. She really blazed that trail and did it as only she could by telling her story and making it relatable to millions of women who could see themselves in her. I want to add a little bit more to the story of who she was, because this music icon was also the most down-to-earth girlfriend. And that's what she called us, her girlfriends. The reason I make a special note of this is because it always just astonished me that Loretta Lynn, one of my heroes, would think of me that way. I remember one time she called to tell me she'd been on her treadmill singing Independence Day and reaching for those high notes. I'm trying to hit those high notes, she'd say. She'd always say, I love you, honey. Come see me anytime. She also used to say to me, Martina, you and me ought to tour together. I said, yes, ma'am, that would be amazing. She said, we'd tar it up, wouldn't we? We did end up doing some shows together, and I treasure those moments. She was funny and fun. She was wise. She was a brilliant songwriter and a big, powerful singer and storyteller. She was so real and just always Loretta. She shared her heartache, her feistiness, her spirituality, her childhood, her love for Dew and her kids, and her stories with all of us and with the world. Well, maybe some stories she didn't share with the world, but as I read the tributes to her life in the past weeks, I've heard so many other women in country music who have similar things to say about her impact on them. Not just her music, not just their music, but them personally. She paid attention to our careers. She made us feel like we were special to her and like she was in our corner. And I feel that part of her legacy is that it's up to us now to mentor and to make sure we all know we have each other's backs and that the ones coming up the ladder feel our support too. That we are available and we can now say, I love you, honey. Come see me anytime. And now please welcome Alan Jackson.
Thank you all so much. Hi. Loretta was always very sweet to me, and for a lot of years there, from the time I first stepped on this opera stage 30-something years ago, probably, and I never told her this, but she reminded me of a lot of my mama. They looked a little alike, but their personalities were a lot alike. They were both real outgoing, tell you exactly what's on their mind, but very sweet and genuine. Both came from real hard, humble backgrounds. They both married a man when they were very young, 16 years old or so, and stayed with him their whole life. And they loved Southern gospel music. And when my mama passed away, I wrote this song for her. And when they asked me to sing for Loretta tonight, I just felt like the words felt right. And the family was kind enough to let me sing this song for her tonight. So for Loretta, it's just for you, where your heart has always been. The morning light was soft and low. The clouds had left an early snow. A peaceful sound was calling low. It's time to go. God reached out his tender hand and gently pulled her home with him and brushed away the sorrow from her soul within. And I could hear the roses sing, a bluebird slowly claps its wings. The sun seemed brighter than it's ever been. And now she's dancing in the wind with her true love again, where her heart has always been. Where her heart has always been. I'll play that fiddle for him, right? And I could hear the roses sing, a bluebird softly claps its wings. The sun seems brighter than it's ever been. And now she's dancing in the wind with her true love again, where her heart has always been. Where her heart has always been. And where her heart has always been. The morning light was soft and low, the clouds had left an early snow. Thank you.
Well, hey, to all of Loretta's friends and all of Loretta's family, and I consider myself part of the family. I've loved Loretta since we were both new in Nashville. We kind of grew up together. We used to talk about our lives and how similar we grew up, had a lot of laughs, shed a lot of tears over things that we remembered about our childhood and about our parents. And we loved country music. And we often talked about how we were so happy that we grew up the way we did so we could write all those wonderful songs about our lives. I mean, what song could be better than Coal Miner's Daughter? We know that Loretta's resting in peace. She's left a wonderful legacy. She's left a wonderful memory. She was the best friend anybody could ever have and one of the greatest artists ever. So go ahead and celebrate her knowing I'm right there with you.
Please welcome Hoda Kotb.
Well, hello, everybody. What a thrill it is to be here. I need more Kleenexes. This is the most beautiful celebration of Loretta Lynn. I was born in Norman, Oklahoma. I grew up in Morgantown, West Virginia, and Virginia. I was raised in a world where country music was big, and there was a whole lot of love for Loretta Lynn. You know what Miss Loretta did throughout her career? She told the truth. And because she told the truth, women like us thought we could tell the truth too. She had her first #1 record in 1967. She won her first Grammy in 1972. In the 70s and 80s, her song Coal Miner's Daughter became a life-changing record, an autobiography, and an Academy Award-winning movie. She made the gold album Honky Tonk Angels with Dolly Parton and Tammy Wynette in the 90s. Indeed. She won the Grammy for Best Country Album in 2005. And just last year, she released Still Woman Enough, her 50th studio album, her 60th, counting her 10 duet albums with Conway Twitty. Decades and decades of making great country music. Right now, what do you say we take it back to 1967? Here to perform Loretta's very first #1 record. Please welcome George Strait.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be a part of this celebration of life and memorial for Miss Loretta Lynn tonight. Such an